Welcome back to the Rockin' Social Media podcast. I'm Paul Hutchinson, DJ, producer, and CEO and owner of Rockin' Social Media Agency, helping DJs and business owners grow their brand and turn followers into fans. Today, we're kicking off a brand new series based on my book, Amplify Your Brand. And over the next few weeks, I'm breaking down the key lessons from the book, but specifically for DJs who want to stand out on social media and get more bookings. And today's topic is a big one: why your DJ brand isn't growing and how to fix it. So what a brand actually is and why do DJs need one? So before we get into why your DJ brand isn't growing, let's clear something up because a lot of people get this wrong. Your brand isn't your logo. It's not your name, your font, or the photo you use on your artwork. Your brand is the feeling that people get when they hear your name or see you play. So it's how they describe you to their mates when you're not in the room. It's what they expect from you, your sound, your style, and your energy. And if you don't define that feeling yourself, then your audience will do it for you, and they might get it wrong. That's why every DJ needs to think of themselves as a brand, because this is how you stand out in a crowded industry. There are thousands of DJs out there who can mix, but the ones who get remembered, booked and followed are the ones who have something that sticks. Now, I want you to think about Fisher dropping down from the ceiling in his new residency at Universe, possibly the biggest club in Ibiza, and think about the content he shares on social media. That is brand building at its finest. Your brand is what turns you from just another DJ into a name people talk about. Right, let's get into it. Remember to subscribe to the podcast, which drops every Thursday morning on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube. And let's jump straight into today's episode. Why most DJs stay invisible. So let's be real for a second here. Most DJs think that growing on social media means posting more content. But the truth is, if your message isn't clear, it doesn't matter how often you post. People won't follow you just because you're a DJ. They follow you because they get you. They understand your style, your energy, and your story. So think about it. When someone lands on your page, they make a decision in 3 seconds usually. Do I understand what this person's about? If the answer is no, then they scroll on. And that's the problem. I see it all the time. Most DJs don't actually have a brand. They just have a logo, a ton of flyers on their feed, and some mixers. So how do you fix that? And you do that with brand clarity. That's the bit that gives you growth. And this is something I talk about a lot in my book, Amplify Your Brand. Clarity beats creativity every single time. If people can't describe what you do in one sentence and the style of music that you play, then you already lost them. You don't need to be the loudest or the most creative DJ online. You just need to be the clearest. Now, your brand is made up of 3 things usually. So first of all, your sound, what type of music you're known for. Then your story, where you've come from, what drives you, and that's what makes you different. And then finally 3, your style, how you show up visually and emotionally. Now, if those 3 things don't align, then your content will always feel a bit off. And let me give you an example of this. So let's look at Fisher again. Love him or hate him, his brand is clear. Fun, party, energy, cheeky, doesn't take himself too seriously. Everything he posts reinforces that on his social media. Then you take someone like Peggy Gou, really cool, fashionable, creative, international energy. Again, clarity. You know exactly what you're getting. Now think about your own brand. If someone had to describe you in one line, what would they say? So this is why you need to find your why. Now this part comes straight from Simon Sinek's book, Start With Why, one of my favorites. Most DJs know what they do and how they do it, but they never think about why they do it. And that's what separates the amateurs from the brands that actually grow. When I coach DJs, I always ask this question: if you weren't getting paid, would you still do it? Because your why has to be something bigger than money or fame. It might be connection, it might be joy, it might be freedom. For me, it's that feeling you get knowing that you've got control of the dance floor. I get such a buzz knowing that I'm just about to drop one of my favorite tracks, and I know they're going to love it too. Then when it drops, they can't help putting their hands in the air and smiling. And that's the bit. That's what it's all about for me, is creating lots of those small moments just like that. My tagline is house music for the soul. And that for me encapsulates my style. It's house music that makes you feel good inside. And I show the crowd that I'm feeling those moments with them. Once you find your why, your whole brand starts to make sense. Your content feels more consistent, your messaging feels authentic, and your audience starts to feel you. So the next bit I want to talk about is the one sentence brand formula. So let's make this practical. Grab a notebook and write this down, okay? Your brand statement should sound like this. Something like, I'm a house DJ or whatever style of music you play who helps people feel good, for example, through the style of music that they play. So another example of this is, I'm a soulful house DJ who helps people escape the stress of life through uplifting feel-good music. Or I'm a tech house DJ who brings energy and connection to every dance floor I play. Try not to make it too cheesy, but that sentence becomes the foundation for your bio, your captions, your artwork, and your whole online presence. So when people know what you stand for, they'll remember you. And that's really important. So here's your challenge for this week. I want you to write your one sentence brand statement. Put it in your Instagram bio. And if you want feedback, then tag me in as well at Paul Hutchinson DJ, or send me a DM with your statement and I'll help you refine it if you want. Because once you get clarity on who you are as a DJ, everything else becomes easier. Your content, your visuals, and you'll start to get more bookings. Right, next week, we'll move on to episode 2, which is stop posting like an amateur and how to build a professional brand online. We're going to talk about how to plan your content like a pro and start using social media as a proper business tool. So if you found this episode helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a review as well, and share it with another DJ who you think that needs to hear this. Thanks for tuning in this week, guys. And remember, your brand isn't what you say it is. It's what people feel when they see your name. I'll see you next week.